Do you procrastinate? Because I certainly do. We all do, right? To some extent. Why? Well, if you're looking for the answer to the why, I have already written an article about what is procrastination and 5 myths about procrastinators. So I will link to that in the description, but I want you to keep in mind that sometimes it could be a deeply rooted psychological issue as well. So it doesn't matter though what the reason is. Our job as educators is to figure out what it is that's causing our students to procrastinate, why it's doing that, and how can we help them overcome it. And so today we're going to look at 4 different ways that we can help them overcome this. All right, so before we get started, I just want to let you know though that it's important for us to do this, because sometimes we overlook this part where we just say, okay, you know what, if you don't hand it in, you don't get the mark because we're tired. But I want you to remember that when you look at it from a different perspective, realize that when you get a hold of why children are procrastinating, it helps you with classroom management, because you don't have to run after that child. You don't have to run after that parent. Or if that parent comes up to you and says, why did you give my student this grade? How dare you do that? Or your admin comes up to you. You can say, well, you know what? We've worked on this, and this. You've got it all tracked and ready. So here's how we're going to do this. Number 1 is the top 3. Okay? The first one is what you're going to do is you're going to look at all the assignments that your kids have to do, because you don't want to just give them assignments and say, go ahead and do it, because chances are they're not going to, or they're going to hand in really late work or just quickly done work. So we look at only 3. Everything else can wait. The 3 most important ones that are going to be due soon are the ones we focus on, and then we break it down into chunkable bits and we start to put it into our calendar so that it's doable, it's manageable, everything is bite-sized. And so if you are looking for planners for your kids or a schedule, I've got an editable organizer that you can use online. I've also got 2 different goal setting planners that your children can use so that they can break these big goals or tasks into small bits. Okay? Now the second thing that you're going to be teaching your kids is about find your space. So here they're going to think about what would their ideal learning environment look like, and they're going to draft it out. So think about lighting. They're going to think about do they need white noise or not? What do they need on their desk to be able to study? What should their environment look like? Could it be the library? Could it be their room? Could it be a coffee shop? What does that look like? When they have drafted it out, their job after that is to go and find that ideal environment before we even get to the studying portion. After that, the third step is let's get groovy. So here they look at what is my learning style. How do I learn best? Is it through reading? Is it through writing? What is it to dancing? What do I do to learn? How do I learn best? And then they're going to try and integrate that into the way they learn. The 4th step is have a blast. So here they're going to look at incentives. So you're going to help them find mini incentives for themselves as they go through their tasks, and then after that they're going to look at big incentives so you can come up with a big incentive so that you can be their cheerleader at the end, and children really look forward to the small and the really big ones at the end. It's like their little milestone there, eh? So if you're able to create this with them, it'll help them go quite far. Now if you're looking to really tease out steps 2, 3, and 4, check out my mini course, because it's really going to give you a hands-on detailed approach to help your children move from procrastination to productivity. In fact, it's called Procrastination to Productivity for intermediate and high school students. And I will link to that in the description as well. So I hope you got a lot out of this and your children hand in all their tasks. This does take time, but you've got this. In the meantime, remember to create, experience, and teach from the heart. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.